Welcome, watchers of illusion, to the castle of confusion. I am not Treyguard from Nightmare, but this is Star Trek Adventures. Ooh. So tonight we have another adventure for you. Well, actually, it's the same adventure as last time because that's how we roll. We're continuing our continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. And all of that. So, with me tonight is Lieutenant T. Dowd of the USS Enigma, who has decided that the register number is a little joke from Question of Trek. And of course, we have the tactical officer, Ferengel, who I believe is a lieutenant commander. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. So,
I love firing the nukes.
You're not firing any nukes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need a promotion, PDQ.
But my motto is, we have to be sure.
Yes, you have to be sure. You see, this is why I love role-playing. We all have a different way of doing it, but it all meshes and we end up having a lot of fun.
Leave no stone unexploded.
Well, Starfleet wouldn't let me nuke the Bajoran wormhole.
No, you're not allowed to nuke the Bajoran wormhole. The wormhole aliens will be very, very unhappy. Okay, so we may be getting our third member, Lieutenant Tabby, but we'll see how that goes. I will put the invite into the chat again, just in case. Join us. One of us. But before we get going, I'll say hello to everyone who's in the chat or is just watching and not chatting. That's perfectly valid as well. You do you, as they say. However, I have one question for the team. Can anyone remember what we were doing? You've brought notes.
Well, if I don't take any. So we were in a fight with some Romulans. Yes, they're in that. We've got some people behind full screen, and we had an interaction with a Trill, knocked him out. I think it was a him, or not noticeably otherwise, and no parasite issued forth. So this Trill may be, uninfected, and they in our trying to negotiate with them, which ultimately proved unsuccessful, but we did learn of an Iconian gateway that will soon be used to launch this campaign of parasitic terror upon the galaxy.
Dun,
dun, dun.
That is true, yes. So when we last left it, you guys had decided that the best route, and I think I agree, was to throw some stun grenades and knock out let me just bring this up, the three guys here. Whereas this guy, you had to shoot and kill because he wouldn't go down. So Tabby did get injured, but under the Star Trek Adventures rules, will now be back at full stress, as they say, or full health. And this guy was dead before you got in the room. However, there are 4 people over here. So my question for the group is, what's next? And hello, Krista. How you doing?
It's nice to see you. To see you nice.
So, what's
I'm going to phaser whoever's left.
Sorry?
I'm going to phaser whoever's left.
You want to phaser whoever's left? Is that the guys that are knocked out in the group in the middle, or the ones behind the force field?
Well, we've already knocked them out. Then let's try and remove the force field, imprisoning the humans.
Okay. So, so in order to take this force field down, it looks like you are going to need a Oh, I really need to get the thing up. Give me a second. I need to grab a character sheet so I can remember what the things are. It's so easy to be able to just have a quick reference guide. I knew I needed something. Okay, so you're going to need a control plus security roll.
Oh heavens!
Control
That's
plus
my.
security. That's an 11 and 1.
Okay.
Control and security. Mine's quite low. I think control is 8. Security is probably 9 total.
Okay. It sounds like Ferrin, you've got the higher score, and the I've got. Well, actually, hang on. What's Tabby got? Control is 9, security is 4. So Tabby actually has the higher score.
D220.
I don't know. He may not like us taking him for test runs. We nearly got him killed last time.
2d20, please. Yes.
Seven and 4.
Okay, 2 successes. You're able to bypass the security lockout system on the security force field and short it out, so it disappears. Well done. Like,
May I suggest we keep our phasers trained on them because we don't know if they are
Yep.
friendlies or foesies.
That is
Yep.
a very good
I
idea.
was going to suggest that, but then want Zoe to say I was getting a bit trigger happy.
I wouldn't say that, Captain Commander Shax. Have you watched Lower Decks yet?
No.
Oh, you've got to watch. Do you know? I thought you had it on Blu-ray.
No, I've got Series 1. No, I've got to get around to ordering Series 2.
Seriously, watch Series 1. Shax is amazing. Captain, I'd like to shoot some photon torpedoes. I've been really good this month. He's brilliant. So, anyway, the force field crackles and it goes down.
Snap, crackles, and pops.
Yes, it does.
Rice
It snaps and crackles and pops, and then it goes down.
Okay.
Don't question my special effects.
Oh, that was a special effect. Okay. Professor Brainy Specs has joined us also.
Oh, the professor's here. Hiya.
Howdy.
I didn't expect him to be around. I thought he'd be at work. But hello. Good luck. You're going to need it. What's he got planned? Dum, da, da. Professor, if you want to, you are, of course, welcome to join us. So, now that the thingamajig is down, what do you do?
I'm terrible. Do these things show up on scans or don't they?
They don't show up on standard scans.
Oh.
But you can, of course.
Could we grab one by the ankles and shake them very, very hard?
Well,
maybe
just
something.
remember the blue gill sticks out the back of the neck, so you could just check them.
Oh, yes. Very good, very good.
I've got a better idea.
Oh, dear. Yes?
Ferrin to Enigma. 4 to beam to 4 separate brigs.
Beep, 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 beep. Confirmed.
Ferrin to Enigma security. Send at least 30 guards to the brig.
Not a bad idea, considering what's at stake. So the 4 merchants who were in the security field have been beamed to the brig.
They were merchants?
As I said, a separate brig for each one,
so
they can't conspire together.
Yeah, they're the merchant. I thought I explained that last week. Sorry, they're the merchants from the Tellarite freighter.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to make a note of that on my pad.
Okay. And make sure they're kept in the brig by level 10 force field.
Beep, beep. Acknowledged. Level 10 force field around the brigs. So there we go.
Make sure there's force fields around any venting.
Around any what?
Vents or that.
Oh yes. I love that. What was it? I've got force fields around the grain. I've got security around the Klingons. I love that episode. It's so good. Right, so they've been beamed up. Is there anything else you want to do down here?
Can we Can we sorry, who's in that? Who's in the other pen?
The other pen has a Klingon corpse. He's
Oh,
dead,
right.
and he appears to have been one of those that was genetically modified.
So maybe we should beam him to sickbay for study, or
If that's-
the path lab for study.
Yeah, you can do that. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Farron to Enigma, beam one genetically engineered Klingon to sickbay.
Sorry, could you just confirm a genetically engineered Klingon?
Yes, genetically engineered Klingon.
Okay. Security to Medibay.
Full decontamination.
Just two guards, just to be sure.
So he's beamed up as well. Is there anything else we need to
Final
do?
order. Enigma beamed out one nuclear weapon.
No. BB, this is the captain. Override that order. What is going on down there?
Belay that. Heavens. So, okay. Can we scan? Sorry.
What were you saying, Captain Dowd? Lieutenant Dowd?
Yeah. Are we able to scan for any more life forms, and is there any more that we can explore to see if we can unearth any more? Well, we need information on this Iconian gateway thing. We need to figure out how the trill fit in. So is there more data to be gathered? I can't. We're in a frozen base or something, right?
Yeah. You're in an underground base on that used to be like a mining area on an asteroid in Klingon space.
Okay.
And you can look around, but it seems that all of the computers on this level and the level above have been wiped.
Oh dear.
Baron to Enigma, one trill to also beam directly to the brig.
He's already in the brig. You beamed him up last week. He's already there. You stunned him and beamed him up last week.
My memory's lousy.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So
mine too, and that's with notes.
Well, since we're not going to find anything else, we better be sure.
You're not nuking the site from orbit. The Klingons might have accepted on that space station, but they're not going to let you do it twice.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about doing it. I'm not talking about nuking from orbit. I'm talking about beaming down a nuclear weapon into this place and then detonating it from orbit.
Oh my goodness.
We mustn't. I think as a general rule, we're not allowed to vaporize things that don't belong to us.
That is true.
I'm sure the Klingons will be very thankful.
Hello to what was his name? Petty Sergeant Tabby. Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Sorry, I'm late. I thought it was 10 o'clock we were starting.
Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry. But no, we started 9.
Talking about the benefit.
Oh, my apologies.
Benefits of nuking. We're just debating the benefits of nuking Klingon facilities.
Yes, Farron wants to nuke the site from orbit because it's the only way to be sure. But I'm not sure the Klingons will let you do that twice. So, but
I'm not talking about nuking from orbit. I'm talking about beaming down just a small one.
Oh, just a little nuke.
Yeah,
it's hardly anything, really. Oh my goodness.
I think we should maybe do a rewards consequences analysis on that. Sometimes the rewards are short-lived, but the consequences can live on.
Yes,
and come back to bite us on the space bum.
Enigma, get Chancellor Martok on subspace.
Chancellor Martok is unavailable.
Then get me Ambassador Worf. We'll get his permission.
So is it then looking like there's no more to be learned from this facility?
It does appear that if there is an Iconian gateway, it's not on this facility.
And no data storage devices or anything that would have.
All the devices appear to have been wiped clean, almost as if these creatures don't want any records of what they're doing.
Have we got any computer experts on the Enigma who can undelete files?
Probably,
Yeah,
but if you want to have a look at if you want to have a thorough search of the systems, which would be a reason plus engineering check, then I can explain why you won't be able to find any.
My reason in engineering is 8 and 1.
Okay.
Well, okay. I'm 12 and 1.
But I think we ought to triple check the computers just to be sure.
Okay. 12 and 1, was it? Well, if you do 2d20, you're going to need 1 success for this.
9 and 16.
Okay. The reason that you can't get any information from the computers is that someone has physically removed the memory storage.
How big is it?
They're basically the Klingon equivalent of isolinear chips. So there's
well, maybe this is too many years working in corrections, but I think we need to check some rectums.
Feel free.
Well, you came up with the idea, Lieutenant, so you can check.
Well, I mean, there's scanning. So, I mean, should we ask the med bay sick bay rather to scan for that thing, the memory cores?
By all means, it takes them a few minutes to get back to you, but there are no Klingon isolinear chips on any of the corpses, and none of the people that have been beamed up have them either.
So we've got Romulans, Klingons, and a Trill.
Yeah.
Can we interrogate them? Can we go back to the ship and interrogate?
Absolutely.
What do you reckon, fellas?
Bound to Enigma, scan the entire facility for Klingon isolinear chips.
Beep, 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 beep. They're scanning, and there are some isolinear chips. In fact, the facility is full of them because the computers can't really differentiate between the memory storage ones and the standard ones that have like the ROM chips for the operating systems.
Enigma, beam all the isolinear chips to engineering.
Beep, 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 beep. Something starts to wail in Klingon, saying that the life support is now offline.
Enigma, 3 to beam up.
And there you are. You're back on the ship. So, my question is, now that you're back on the ship, what do you do next?
Have we left anyone on the surface? Or under the surface, as the case may be?
Technically, yes.
So we need to do something about them with no life support.
Oh, no, you didn't, because you beamed them all to the brig.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's okay.
Have everyone living.
In answer to your what next question, may I recommend visiting the canteen?
Visiting the canteen, very well. You go to the canteen.
We buy a small sandwich.
You don't buy sandwiches. It's the Federation. They don't use money.
I want you to bound to engineering. I want you to check out every part of those isolinear chips.
Sorry, Commander. Could you please confirm you want us to check all of the chips?
Yes, every single one.
What are we checking them for, sir?
Keywords, gateway, and
Icodian.
Very well. We'll get back to you.
And also Trill.
And experiment.
Okay. Then while they're checking, is there anything else you need to do?
Well, I guess we need to report to the captain.
Bound to captain. fire one nuclear torpedo.
Where and why?
Klingon facility, just to be sure there's no parasites.
I'll have to clear that with the Klingons. I'll get back to you.
Just talk to Chancellor Martok. He'll back me up.
He probably would, yes. But we'll see what happens. So,
We're all drinking chums.
just as a reminder, while they're all checking all of those isolinear chips, and you guys you're in the canteen. Give me 1 second.
Is that 10? Is that our version of 10 forward?
Jen, are you playing a flute? Right, fair enough. It's just I could hear a weird noise. No, Jen, you're not disturbing me. I was just wondering what it was. You're not disturbing me. Feel free to continue.
Okay, I will do.
Right.
I'll take it to 11.
Jen is playing some kind of whistle thing on her locomotives. All I could hear was the beep, 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 beep. So you guys are in the canteen having a well-deserved snack. And can I just remind you, you have beamed a lot of people up for interrogation.
Yes.
When you say a lot, since I missed the first part, can you elaborate on how many?
They've beamed up a Trill who appears to have been working with the people. Several stunned Romulans, a stunned Klingon, and 4 merchants who were actually in an isolation cell.
Yes. Can
I
we
see somebody very fluffy. Hello, Amelia.
Hello, Amelia.
Nice little cat.
Hello, Auntie Zoe.
Hello, meow. She's lovely.
Well, standard interrogation protocol. Should we start with the small fish and eliminate these, what do you call them, merchants from our inquiries?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So
If they're in an isolation cell, were they possibly infected with something?
they were on. Let me bring it up on the screen.
They're stuck in the brig behind a level 10 force field.
They are. When you found them on the Klingon facility, these Klingons were guarding them and arguing with this Romulan. These two are Romulans, sorry, not Klingons. And these were stuck behind a force field in the facility.
Well, had we perhaps better start interrogating them?
Sounds like a plan.
Are we allowed to bring them sandwiches?
You can bring them a sandwich if you want.
Let's bring them a sandwich. We presumably want to be nice to them.
Make sure the security have got some metal poles.
Are you going to give them sandwiches on the end of a pole? Here you go.
No.
Well, anyway.
So the guards can hit them if they don't cooperate.
Are you sure you went to Starfleet Academy?
I'm not sure you want metal poles, dear. I'm sure there are better ways of enforcing compliance.
You
But why
remember
don't we
the
take them?
episode doing Witness? Harry's got the alternate. Harry Kim's got some pole and he's saying, "Step aside, your cote. Let me hit him."
Well, let's not hit anybody, shall we? Shall we just take them one by one, all 3 of us with one particular individual, bring the chaps some sandwiches, and let's get some cake as well from the canteen and a nice glass of orange juice, and bring it along to the first of the merchants and see what we can ask them.
I see what's going on here. You're doing good cop, bad cop. Let's see how it plays out.
Good cat, bad cop.
Okay, well,
If you're willing to get in the cell in the brig with them.
Oh, you don't take them to the brig, but you have some interview room, don't you, with some nice soft chairs?
Normally in Star Trek, they just interview them from behind the force field.
I don't think we have an interview room.
Can we have a look at their necks first and eliminate that as a possibility? Because these new ones presumably still have to breathe. I think that's what that was for, wasn't it?
The gill is
Send the
breathing thing.
Send the EMH in to check.
Oh, I like that. I like that idea.
He can't be bent, broken, or spindled. So absolutely.
And considering this is after Voyager and DS9 ends, the Enigma's got hollow emitters on every deck.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
I would like you to go into rig number 1 and check this person for puncture marks on his neck, please.
Puncture marks, very well. Although I am a doctor, not a tricorder.
It's for safety reasons, Doctor.
Oh, very, very well. In that case, let me try.
And is this the MH Robert Picardo?
It might be. I can't do a Robert Picardo impression. Please take the nature of the medical. I cannot do it. I've got a kind of weird voice now. Please take the nature of the medical emergency. I don't know where that's coming from, but the EMH
No
does
idea.
check them, and there are no puncture marks on the neck, and no bluegills either.
Okay.
But please check the other people.
Same results.
I thought it was going to do it while we chat to him. Well, given that we have the same result, should we take one of the individual merchants out of his force field cell and bring him to a nice place with a comfortable chair and sit down with the tea and cake and I'll ask him some questions. Or her or him,
Computer deactivate EMH.
No, here. It's gone. So you want to take okay. If you want to interrogate them, that's perfectly fine, but it will require a presence plus medicine check
Okay.
on 2d20.
Presence is 10, and what was the other one? Medicine?
Medicine.
I'm 14.
I'm 13, so
My
possibly
goodness.
Dowd is-
You're all making me feel really old.
Well, I'll have a roll, shall I?
You can, of course, remember you've got 3 momentum left, and this is near the end of this particular adventure, so there aren't any more scenes. So you could always spend some momentum to buy a success if you need to.
Well, I don't think I do because I rolled a 2 and a 5.
You
Right,
don't
lower-
need to.
Lower the force field and chain up that first bloke.
Yeah. You know, this really is good cop, bad cop. So, presence plus medicine check with 2 successes, you get the information you're looking for. I've got a thing to read out for you. This guy seems
Okay.
very, very talkative now that.
Take him to the security office and don't release him from the chains.
This guy
His
seems
voice is
very,
his
very,
sandwich, I
very
think.
eager to talk to you, in fact, now that you've been nice to him and got him out of that facility. They say,
And gave him the cake.
yes, he's a Tellarite merchant, in fact, or at least he was a merchant on a Tellarite freighter. This is the Romulans. They paid us well. All we had to do was bring them the supplies on their lists and not ask any questions. That was fine by us, you know. But
What are the items on this list?
sorry.
What are the items on this list?
Various medical supplies. You know the standard things: biomimetic gel and gene resequencing technology. You do the standard standard medical equipment.
You
So
just-
why
you do
wouldn't I bring this?
You do not have been in possession of gene sequencing stuff. It's punishable by 5 years in the New Zealand penal facility.
But only in Federation territory, and we're not in Federation territory. So I did check this. The Klingons didn't care.
But you're still a Federation citizen.
But I'm not in Federation territory. No jurisdiction.
And how much latinum did the Romulans pay you for this?
Hadn't this chap better be cautioned before we continue talking to him at this stage?
At this point, it might be a good idea for him to call for a lawyer, but he seems very, very, very talkative. He said, and then he says, "But what happened after the courtization? Well, they just locked us up with no explanation. It was terrible. I should never have trusted those Romulans, much less ones that kept company with the stinking Klingons. They've barely said a word since they turned on us. I'm very happy that you came here. Yes, thank you, thank you very much.
when have they paid you yet?
No, in fact, they still owe us for our last payment. But at this point, I'll admit that I'd rather just as soon as not forget about it and get out of here if you don't if you don't mind.
How many deaths do you have with Quark on DS, not Deep Space Nine?
Who is this Quark?
The Ferengi bartender.
I have to admit I have not met anyone from Deep Space Nine. I tend not to go to that side of the Federation space. I'm very much about the Klingon areas. They're far more tolerant of what should we say trade and money. I do like money.
Did you serve during the Dominion War, or were you a shirker?
I don't believe there was a draft during the Dominion War.
Yes, there was a draft. We can hold you on.
There was no draft during the Dominion War.
If there was no clear draft, we can have you for not doing your duty.
The Federation didn't lose that many people.
And what do you know about Arcadian gateways?
I'm sorry to say I don't know much about that. Is no, sorry. This character has a very strange way of talking. Sorry, I just realised I'm sounding completely weird.
He's very nervous.
This particular individual has something of a stammer.
Yes.
I don't know whether a glass of water and a piece of cake would help.
Found to security. We need a lie detector.
Okay. Right.
Oh, they do have a process for that, isn't it?
Yeah,
autonomic response analysis or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, the security takes a few moments to bring one in, but yeah, you've got your autonomic lie detector.
Again.
Ask the questions again. Very well. Could I have another check? That would be presence plus medicine.
Well, presence plus medicine, that's 11 and 1 for me. So D26. Well,
okay.
D220.
2D20.
What? Get it up. 3 and 9.
Okay, two successes. You ask the questions again, and you find that he's actually telling the truth.
Okay, we'll turn him to the brig and we'll get someone else in.
Okay.
Was he the captain?
He's one of the merchants on the Tellarite freighter.
Okay, can we get the head honcho?
Yes.
Of the four?
That you bring in the Tellarite captain. And well, as is usual, the Tellarites are quite brusque. So ask away.
That's why I've ordered chains.
Let's just get him some sandwiches as well, shall we?
No.
Sandwiches? You're trying to poison me. What is this?
If you like. I mean, it's
what is
very optional.
We want some answers and we want them now.
All right. Well, what do you want to know?
Why are you smuggling gene sequences across Federation and Klingon space for the Romulans?
I wasn't smuggling out. There's no rule about gene sequencing in the Klingon Empire. So I bought them in the Klingon Empire and I sold them in the Klingon Empire. And you cannot do nothing about it.
That stuff had a Federation signature to it.
All right, you got me there. I forgot about that bit.
Well, did it?
Actually, no, it didn't. Oh, hang on. No.
It was the device that was augmenting the
dampening technology was Federation. Yes.
Yeah, but you're still using smuggled Federation technology. Now, speak up.
Is this loud enough?
Answer. I want answers.
I didn't know it was smuggled. I just bought it.
So who did you buy it from?
From some guy in a bar.
And
some
what's the
guy
name
down
of
the pub.
was this person a Ferengi by any chance?
No, he was a Klingon. He was
Where
selling some.
exactly was this bar?
And what are Klingons doing with Federation technology?
He told me not to ask, and I didn't ask. All I knew is he had what the Romulans wanted, so I got it and I gave it to them, and they gave me some money, and I was happy, and I bought a drink, and it was nice.
And how much latinum did you get for this job?
I don't think that's any of your business.
Where exactly was this bar, in any case?
And how much of it did you spend at Deep Space Nine?
I didn't spend any at Deep Space Nine. I don't go to Deep Space Nine. It's too far away. Have you tried spending 2 months flying around the galaxy on one of our freighters? It's not very big, you know.
Well, you want to. Well, I know that Tellarite want to go to the best gambling dens in the quadrant.
Well, I might have. You ever been to Orion? It's nice.
Whom
Can you
did you
perhaps-
contract with? Was it Klingons or Romulans?
Well, the Romulans are paying the bills, but in order to get something done in the Klingon Empire, you've got to talk to the Klingons. So I got a lot of my stuff from Klingons.
Does Chancellor Martok know anything about this?
I doubt it.
Did it not seem strange to you that Klingons and Romulans were working together?
They're all strange. Have you met these guys? They headbutt each other as a greeting. They're all strange.
And what
How
do you
long
know
were you
about,
confined?
what
Sorry?
do you know about Arconian gateways?
Is that a kind of cheese?
How long were you confined on
Sorry,
the?
Pete's voice.
planet?
If you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm going to beam you back to that facility before I nuke it.
The amount of stuff you don't know could fill a book and then another book.
Well,
maybe we should start writing that
theme,
book.
on that theme, did you overhear anything that appeared that, thinking back on it, you may not understand and seemed strange?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of what they were doing was strange. I don't go around experimenting on people, so they were talking a lot about that. But all right, I'll level with you. I'll level with you, in the hopes that this'll help with my sentencing, because obviously you're going to try and frame me for stuff I didn't do. But I did say I did hear them complaining about that Trill guy that they had with them, and because he apparently whatever he'd done, he delayed their plans, and they were going to do something with Starfleet, but I don't know what it was. I didn't hear anything more than that.
Right.
Oh, they still owe me money, by the way. Are you guys gonna cover that?
We're not international or interstellar bailiffs, sadly. Can I just ask a couple of
Replicate a
questions?
Oh, right.
Can I just ask a couple of brief questions? First of all, where exactly was this bar in which you met the fellow who gave you the stuff?
Kronos.
And who else was present at the bar at that time?
An awful lot of Klingons.
Just Klingons? Or were there any other type of people?
To be honest with you, I wasn't really paying that much attention.
What
There's
about
probably some
Romulans?
Orions. You know, they tend to hang around on
How
there.
long ago was this?
Are you trying to buy Orion slave girls?
I don't need to buy my girls. Oh, look at me. Look at. Do you think
how
a
long ago
big
was this,
strapping icon of Tellarite nature would need to buy some girls? Why, you want some?
I'll leave that to other discretion. Can I just ask briefly, how long ago was this meeting in the bar at which you bought the, I think, the gene resequencing software or technology?
Oh, about 5-6 months.
And what's been happening during that 5 or 6 months? What have you been trading in that time?
Have you been in the brig in that cell all that time?
No, we've not been in the brig all that time. Look, they asked me for stuff. They gave me a list of equipment they wanted, so we went and got the stuff for them. It takes
how
a
much of
couple
it-
of weeks per trip to find all the stuff because it's
how
kind
much
of
of it-
hard to find some of this stuff, you know, all this medical
How much-
supplies and
How
things.
many trips
much
were
did
there
you-
exactly?
How much did you steal from Federation territories?
Steal? None. Buy? Yes.
How many trips were there exactly?
About 8.
At 8 trips. And what happened at the end of the 8th trip?
They stuck us in this brig, and then you guys came along. I've been there for a fortnight. What's been going on?
In there for a
Where's
fortnight.
my money?
What happened immediately
getting
before they
any
put you
money.
in the brig?
You're lucky I'm not sending you back to that facility before I nuke it.
You're not
Before-
scaring me. I know what
Can I
Starfleet's
just-
like. You're all pansies.
What exactly happened just before you were put in the brig?
They said they didn't trust us anymore. Apparently, there was something going on. Some Starfleet officers. I'm assuming it was you lot. You messed it all up, you know.
Who were the they exactly who said they didn't trust you anymore?
Them Romulans. They're a bit weird, them Romulans. They're not like any Romulan I've talked to before. They're even
And they
more
put you in the
paranoid.
brig. They're not like any Romulans you've talked to before. Can you tell us how they were different exactly?
Far, yeah. Well, you know, the average Romulan, they're paranoid as hell. They need eyes in the back of their neck and a revolving head so they can look behind and see what's going on. But these ones, they were even more paranoid. Always thinking there was someone coming. Always going to try and stop whatever they're doing. Like, surely, if you've got clearance, you're all right. But
What did their
apparently, they
necks
were a
look
bit
like?
blind.
The paranoid Romulans.
Did they
Sorry?
seem like genuine Romulans to you?
I've never met a fake Romulan. Who would fake being a Romulan?
What did their necks look like, if you recall?
I didn't look, to be honest with you.
Were you?
Security return him to the brig.
Thank you, that'll be all.
Thank you. Sylvia.
Balance the brig.
Do take this slice
Get
of
the
cake.
Romulans
Oh, yes, keep the cake. Yeah.
from that facility into sick bay and have the EMH examine them to make sure they are genuine Romulans.
So, you're checking on the Romulans, yeah?
Just to make sure they're genuine.
That's a good idea, yeah. They do appear to be genuine Romulans, but they are festooned with these little bluegill parasites. There's one in the back of the neck and a few others crawling around through the system.
Emergency! Beam the Romulan into space.
No.
Oh dear. We're going to catch hell for that at the staff meeting, I'm sure.
I'm not sure you can beam the Romulan into space, but you could keep them behind a force field. I don't think we're going to relax.
The Romulan was already dead.
Oh, yeah, you can beam that Romulan into space. I thought you were talking about the ones that were just stunned.
We were examining the dead ones.
Yeah, they had parasites still in them.
Yeah, so we beamed them into space for safety.
Very well.
Hadn't we
The-
better incinerate them first? Because they may be picked up by something like that.
Also, the stunned Romulans were in the brig.
The stud. Yeah, I'm getting confused now on which Romulans you're beaming where. There's an awful lot of beaming going on in this episode.
Yeah, the lights are starting to dim.
Can the parasites survive the vacuum of space?
Sorry,
Can the
parasites.
parasites survive the vacuum of space?
It
We
appears
know.
they cannot.
In which case we can beam them into space without any difficulty. Otherwise, we may have to incinerate them first.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
Oh goodness. Okay. So
Well, I moved that we interrogate the Trill next.
can we just go back? I didn't quite catch what he was saying about the Romulans. People were complaining about the Trill. Was it the Romulans complaining about the Trill, or the Klingons, or both?
The Romulans and Klingons were arguing because the Trill appeared to have either tipped Starfleet off or somehow messed up and got Starfleet involved.
Okay. I wish we'd have asked that person who seemed to be in charge. Did the Trill seem to be in charge? Did the Romulans? Who was sort of running the show according to? Can we interrogate another person
Nothing
and
more
ask,
to-
just to
nothing
ask
more
that
to-
question or recall the last witness and ask him?
Whatever
So
you-
I
whatever
think
you
we ought
want.
to get a genetic sample from the trill and run it against the Federation database.
Okay.
And then we do an interrogation.
Okay.
I just
So
want to know who we're interrogating and
The
what
trill.
what to ox them.
give me 1 second. I'm trying to bring up the information about that guy. Where is he? I cannot find him. Give him a sec. Is that him? That him? No, that's one of the Romulans that you shot. Ah, here he is. Right.
Because he looks like my old friend Esri Dax.
Right. Okay. So, are you talking to one of the merchants or to the trill?
Trill.
To the trill,
Yep.
guys.
Kind of
Are you?
bird food.
The rest of you? Are you okay with that?
Well, I kind of wanted to hear who seemed to be if we were to ask the captain or one of the other merchants, who seemed to be running the show. I just want to get a sense of who seemed to the dynamics among the jailers.
Okay. Right. That's fine. So, the captain tells you that it was one of the Romulans. A bigger Romulan seemed far more in control and with it for the most part, but did seem to be getting more and more tetchy as time went on. And it's this one here that I'm circling with my mouse.
Okay.
The guy that you shot.
Did we kill that one, or
That one? That's the one that wouldn't go down, and you end up shooting until he was dead.
And he didn't go down because he was particularly resistant, was it?
Yeah, he was incredibly resistant.
EMH, do a post-mortem on the dead Romulan.
Do we have to retrieve him from space, or where did we what have we done with him?
He is beamed back in from space, and yeah, he's the one that is.
Form out. Doesn't have a parasite anymore.
Sorry.
At least he doesn't have a parasite to worry about.
Well, no, because he was already dead. So yeah,
I mean,
this guy.
we don't have to worry about his parasite.
This guy did seem to have some genetic enhancements. Enhancements that reduce his pain receptors and increase the amount of how would I put it? Neural linkage between his brain and the parasite.
Reduced?
No, reduced his pain receptors, but increased the amount of connectivity between him and the parasite.
Oh, okay.
I
need a moment to jot that down.
No problem.
So,
I think we ought to report this to Starfleet.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, because there's rampant abuse of genetic sequencing.
Yes, there is.
which is illegal following the eugenics wars.
They've been very naughty
boys. And I seem to remember the Klingons agreed to that policy as well following the Dominion War.
Was there any... I mean, we should seize that equipment and certainly the biomimetic gel, which is strictly regulated and controlled in the Federation. Although I know we're not in the Federation space, are we?
Nope, you're in Klingon space.
But we still, I think we should still confiscate this.
No, defo, and let the authorities know we've got it.
And Chancellor Martok will back me up on that one.
You got an in with him, have you?
Okay, some security teams will go down and they'll collect the stuff for you.
Vector engineering, have you found anything out on those isolinear chips yet?
You sent an awful lot of these to us, and they appear to just be running Klingon mining operations. Is there a reason you've sent us a load of mining operations control chips?
We want to make sure the Klingons aren't hiding anything.
As far as I can tell, they're not.
Well, keep checking.
Okay.
I'm not sure that's going to get us very far.
And I don't care what sort of a rescue lot are on.
Well, they also have their tea break. Right? You can't deny the fellows in engineering their tea break.
No tea break until
You don't want to get the union on us.
No, the
No
engineering
tea-
people must have their
no-
tea break.
no tea break until you've checked every one of those chips. Federation security is at risk, and I
So-
don't think Starfleet has a union.
Or it
Probably
might have
not,
one,
actually.
no, but yes. All right. Had we,
Catnip at Ensign Tabby.
Sorry, what were you saying, Terry?
I said throws catnip at Ensign Tabby.
didn't quite hear.
So, what were you saying, Terry?
I suppose we better try to unpick this a little. The Romulan who is
Yeah.
dead, we were going to have a post-mortem performed on him, it, or her, weren't we? Had we perhaps better see what the result of that is?
I'm
Well, I
sorry,
think-
it kind of broke up there. Could you repeat that?
Oh, I'm sorry. We were going to have a post-mortem examination performed, weren't we, on the dead Romulan who we'd retrieved from space?
Yes.
What was the result of that? Have we managed to get that?
Yes, that was how you learnt about the reduced pain receptors from his modifications and the increased linkage between himself and the parasite controlling him.
Can we talk to another merchant, perhaps?
Yeah, you can talk to all the merchants you want.
Let's talk to another one of the merchants. So bring him some
remaining-
tea and cake and
Two remaining
sandwiches.
ones.
I still think we ought to interrogate the Trill.
After,
Okay.
yeah, I have to say, two of you talked at the same time. I don't know what you were saying.
Sorry.
I
I said I
I have
still
a
think we ought to
I have
interrogate
a
the Trill.
problem with my hearing. I can't process sounds very well. Could you repeat that?
Interrogate the Trill.
Okay, and what were you saying, Tabby?
I mean, we obviously can do it one at a time. I wanted to have a word with one of the merchants.
Okay,
But we can do it in sequence. Doesn't matter which order, really.
okay, and Lieutenant Dowd, what were you saying?
I didn't, but I will now.
sorry.
I would suggest maybe the following order of events. One, Tabby can interrogate the remaining two merchants. I think we should have the Trill analyzed medically, examined to see if there's been any harvesting of tissues or anything else, because we know they don't have a Trill. They don't have a bluegill, but
We also need to find out who he is.
but there was presence of Trill DNA, I believe, in some other people that were infected. I don't, or actually, maybe it was an augmented bluegill. I can't remember. I'll check my notes. And then I think we can interrogate him after he's been examined.
Okay, I could tell you straight off, the other merchants don't know anything more. They've been following orders of the captain and not asking questions because the money was good.
Lock them back up in the brig and we'll turn them over to Starfleet security.
Okay,
Well, Romulan authorities, I would think, we're on their cow patch.
Klingons,
Anything else?
you're on
What did I
Klingon
say?
territory.
What did I say?
Romulan.
Oh, sorry, no, I meant Klingon. I was thinking Klingon in my brain.
I think they might prefer to go to a Federation facility.
Well, that's certainly a good bargaining chip, I suppose. One we can use with our further. Well, I don't know. Do we have the right to take those people?
They're
With-
Federation citizens besides the Tellarites.
Well, the Tellarites are part of the Federation as well.
Tellarites are
Well, they're
definitely part of the
Federation
Federation.
citizens. Well, they're Federation citizens, so that gives us the right.
Well, if they've been committing crimes in the Klingon Empire, that muddies the water there, I would say. Although I'm not a lawyer, I don't even play one on telly. But
That's
It
why I
is-
said we're keeping them in the brig for now.
yeah, let the captain sort it out at the Board of Inquiry.
Oh,
And we
lovely.
know there will be a Board of Inquiry at the end of this.
Farrington
Right.
Bridge. Fire 2 nukes at the facility.
I've forgotten the captain's name.
Oh.
Thingy to what's it? Can you remember the captain's name?
Sorry, where's page 1 here?
Was it Captain Plumjam?
Shoot, I don't think I wrote it down.
We did get a name. I'll have to look it up on the previous episode. At the moment, I'll call him Captain Pugwash. Pugwash to Farron. We are not nuking the facility. We already did that once. The Klingons are going to be all over us.
Get Chancellor Martok on subspace. He'll back me up.
If he's taking your calls anymore, I don't know.
Well, considering my father has to send him Bajoran version of Goth, or
Gach.
how you pronounce it,
Gach. With a rolling.
and the Bajoran version of blood wine, of course he'd be taking my calls.
Bajoran
Isn't that
blood wine.
Gok stuff quite similar to Klingon food?
I think Bajorans have spring wine, not blood wine.
Bajoran
To help
blood
the
wine would be
Bajoran-
interesting.
To help my people's economy, we've branched out into blood wine.
I could imagine that would be an interesting thing. So, a Bajoran blood wine with real blood
Exactly.
from
And
Cardassians, probably.
I shudder to think. I shudder to think what the gach is. Just garden worms, I imagine.
Oof.
No, they're the finest living seaweed from the Gamma Quadrant.
Ooh, living seaweed.
And Chancellor Martok loves it.
I do like a crispy seaweed.
Yeah, we have to send them a whole freighter full every
Nori,
2 months.
I believe. Is it called nori?
Sorry?
Crispy. Is that called nori?
Here they just call on the menus. They just call it crispy seaweed, so that we know what it
Okay.
is.
And since this is going to for the good of the Federation and the Klingon Empire, Martok won't mind me nuking a potentially dangerous situation.
We've made the situation safe.
Yes, I don't
Engineering
think we need
contacts you.
anything.
They've gone through all of the chips. There are no chips that seem to talk about Iconians or this Trill.
Okay, well, Wedge nukes the facility and then bring the Trill to the interrogation room.
You can have the Trill. You can't have the nukes.
Well, let's see what Farron wants to talk about the Trill.
Could we have him medically analyzed before we bring him in? It'll just be a tip.
That's what I wanted.
Medically analyzed. What do you mean?
Well, scanned at a cellular level to determine.
Check him against the Federation records.
Is he a joined Trill? I don't know if we've asked if he's joined. So we need to
We'll find out.
Determine if he is a joined Trill. Determine if there's been any signs of experimentation, including but not limited to any genetic extractions and sampling, and the other stuff, blood, urine, see if he's a healthy example of his species.
He is in reasonably good health. Slight vitamin mineral deficiencies due to poor diet, but otherwise in pretty good health. He is not joined. He's an unjoined Trill, and there has been some evidence on him of genetic tissue sampling. So there are like skin cells, and looks like they've taken some material from his organs around where the Trill would usually have the symbiote attached.
Now that's become Federation. Now since Trills are part of the Federation, he's a Federation citizen, and now this whole thing's come under Federation jurisdiction.
It would certainly be Federation business. I'm not sure it's Federation jurisdiction. You don't know where this happened.
Well,
Yeah,
if
but
this
it's a
fellow is
Federation
deficient in,
citizen undergoing genetic manipulation, which is against the law.
if the fellow is deficient in vitamins, had we better bring the chap a fruit salad?
You can certainly do that.
He doesn't, he
Let's
doesn't get
bring him a
any
fruit salad.
until he talks.
Lieutenant Dowd, what's up?
2 more questions.
Right?
How his talk screen come out?
His talk screen, as in narcotics.
Yeah, any substances? Any substances that should
He
not be
appears to have somewhat of a dependency on Ractigino, but aside from that, he's clean. There are no chemicals in his body.
And
no toxins or
finally, he is not joined, but as we recently learned, I say recently, in the Deep Space Nine episode Unjoined, the one where we learn about Joran Dax, we learned the horrible secret that it's more like 50% of Trill are capable of being joined, the other ones are not. Is this particular Trill capable of being joined?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think we should bring all the suspects into the library. I have something to say.
I've got a question.
Okay.
Check the Trill to make sure he's not been joined and he's not had a symbionte removed.
Well, that would kill him.
Not within the first hour or so. Remember with Jadzia Dax when she lost her symbiote for a couple of hours?
Mm-hmm.
If just to be sure.
He has not been joined.
But with all these genetic manipulations, you never know.
Yep, it's a good question, but he has not been joined.
Perhaps we should ask him some questions. We'll give him the fruit salad and then ask when he last had a fruit salad.
He's a Trill. Don't think he would have ever had a fruit salad.
I think we should begin with the big guns.
He has never had a fruit salad before, but he appreciates the gesture.
Yeah. Well, found to security, chain up the Trill and bring him to the interrogation chamber.
Chain him.
This is a violation of Federation policies.
You realize they're having to Google what a chain is. And wondering what to do with it once they have one.
So
I suggest we replicate a nice big steaming mug of Ractigino, but keep it on the table just out of reach.
He is looking at it longingly.
Isn't that worse than the chains?
You gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Anyway, this Trill fellow.
It's been very unfederation.
1 second, Varen. What were we saying, Tabby?
This Trill fellow. Can we remind us where we found him and in what condition?
Yes, he was skulking in the shadows on the Klingon facility and did pull a gun on you all.
Yes. Right. Well, let's start by asking this chap. How long had you been on the facility? When we found you.
Months. It seemed like an excellent opportunity at first, I have to admit.
What did it seem like an excellent opportunity to do?
Well, this Vulcan guy, he came. Say Vulcan. He turned out to be Romulan, but it seemed like a very interesting prospect. I could do something for the future and help people.
Where did you meet this Romulan whom you thought was Vulcan?
On Trill. He was visiting. He was just visiting and was very interested in being able to help all of us who don't have symbiotes to be able to actually have symbiotes.
And what are the Romulans doing on Trill? Since they've never been bothered by the Trill planet before.
Well, like I said, he was posing as a Vulcan at the time, and I didn't really question a Federation citizen visiting Trill. He was just a medical doctor. He'd come looking to see if there was a way that we could boost our chances of successful joinings.
You've obviously never read the Federation manual that tells you what the Romulans and Vulcans look completely different, from their ears to their hair to their
Well,
shoulders.
It may be that some people look more carefully than others, but let's just ask some more questions, shall we? When did you first discover that this gentleman was not, in fact, a Vulcan, but was, in fact, a Romulan?
Oh, probably on the way. Well, no, I had my suspicions, but when we got to the Klingon to the Klingon space and we landed on this facility, it became pretty clear that I wasn't dealing with Vulcans, you know. But I was still. I thought she was helping with the joining and making it far easier to join.
What was your role on this facility? Sorry.
Which Federation facility did you steal the gene sequences stuff from?
I didn't steal anything. I never stole a thing. I was here to help with the joining process. They wanted to see why I couldn't have a symbiote like the facility told me back on Trill, and then we just we tried to go from there.
And what about the parasites?
Well, look, these things, they're like symbiotes. They're essentially a chance to live forever, you know, in the same way as a standard blending.
And what do you know about Iconian gateways?
I know that they found one, but they wouldn't
Where?
tell me. They wouldn't tell me where. I've honest truth, I do not know where it is. They've got one.
And what happened to the isolinear chips that tell us everything?
Yeah, sorry about that. They're all gone. It was for security. You understand?
We know they're gone, you dozy bleep, bleep, bleep.
Oh, I love it. The combat is bleeping you out. The universal translator's bleeping.
If we want to know where those chips are, we want to know where are they? Where did you hide those chips?
I take it you got my message.
What message?
The message I sent to what was the name of the station?
Corta.
Corta. The message I sent to Corta Station telling them to wipe everything because Starfleet was onto us. I take it that's what you got.
No, we didn't receive any such message. And now you're digging yourself deeper.
Yes, you did. That's the message that you received that told you to come to this planet, or at least that suggested you come here. That was the message. I sent
paperwork is the Ractagino Cup.
No, why? It was hot. Why would you do this? You cruel, cruel people. I thought the Federation was supposed to be the nice ones.
If you don't watch it, I'm going to bring you back to that facility with a nuclear device and detonate it.
You wouldn't. I know what the Federation's like. I'm from the Federation. You can't scare me with your threats.
Well, I'm not a member of the Federation.
You're wearing one of their uniforms.
Doesn't mean I'm a Federation citizen.
Specifically, who told you that the chips were a security issue?
Well, look, we knew you were onto us. We don't want this information getting out until it's ready. We need more time. I know what the Federation does with genetic manipulation. We had to keep it on the down low. We were trying to help.
Where is the information?
I don't know. One of the Romulans took the chips. So they've got all the data. They took it and they left.
Talk about being ready. What do you mean by that?
Ready for propagation, so that we can help.
What kind of propagation have you in mind?
This is the future of Trill Society. We could join every member of Trill Society.
To these other parasites, not to the symbiont population is finite.
Yes,
there aren't enough to go around.
Yes, he gets it. See, he gets it. there aren't enough symbiotes, but with this new symbiote and the modifications we were trying, we could get everyone joined. We don't have to have this lottery of trying to weed out who can and who can't essentially live forever. We can make our society equal. Isn't that a good thing?
It's a wonderful thing. How does that explain the Klingon modifications and the Klingon deaths?
Well, look, Klingons can't be joined, so we had to make some adjustments.
What? Okay. When did you get rejected for a symbiote?
At the first assessment, I put my name forward like everyone else. I got to the assessment, and they said that I wasn't capable of taking a symbiote. So that was it, and it was like my life was over at this point. Do you not understand what this does to a member of our society? To not to
I know there's members of your society that don't want to be joined.
But it's like not being whole. I always wanted to be whole. This was my chance. Of course I'm going to take whatever means necessary. Of course I am.
How many other Trill were involved in this project?
Just me.
How long ago was it you were first asked about the project?
2 months?
Does the Trill government know about any of this?
Well, like I say, genetic modification is illegal in the Federation, so we were keeping it on the down low. We were going to present it as a fait accompli. Like, this is our solution, and here's all the information. That's what we were going to make it all at one time, just available, man.
I would return them over to Federation security.
You're not seeing the bigger picture. We were going to make things great. This was going to change the world.
These power sources are a menace to the Federation. They've already tried to take over once. We're not going to let them do it again. You practically admitted to high treason.
Let's have Dowd's question next, shall we? Dowd?
I'm trying to understand the logic behind trusting Romulans and these parasites, both of whom have been hostile enemies of the Federation. They must have seen you coming, your desperation to be joined.
I personally think he's been fed a whole lot of bleep, bleep, bleep.
I love that the universal translator's not translating the swears.
You do realize I'm a Betazoid, so I know if you're lying.
Is he lying?
Is he lying?
Or does he believe he's telling the truth?
That is a good question. Could I have a reason plus medicine check?
Reason is, I think that's 14, but oh no, sorry, reason is 12, medicine is 4, so that's 16.
Okay, you'll need one success on 2d20.
2d20. 12 and 12.
There you go. So 2 successes. You could bank the extra momentum, or you could use it for getting more information. After I tell you, he is absolutely sure he's not lying.
I'd like to know more information. If there's more information to be had, I'd like to have it.
Is there anyone in the Klingon High Council in on this?
One moment. Lieutenant Dowd, he knows what he's done is wrong, but he's trying to justify it to himself.
We call that in psychology cognitive distortion. So he's in the grips of cognitive distortion, justifying, rationalizing, externalizing, and minimizing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave.
Is anyone on the Klingon High Council in on this?
They would have.
Scheme?
Look, the Romulans said from the start, if the Klingons found out about this, they would stop it. So, no, we've kept it from them too.
Then how do you explain being on a Klingon outpost?
We've
With
got to be
Klingons.
we've got to be somewhere. This is out of the way. No one's looking at us. We were doing good.
Then if the Romulans say the Klingon weren't to be involved, then why were you at a Klingon outpost with Klingons?
The Klingon High Command was not meant to be involved.
Okay, Dowd has another question.
Yeah.
You know what Chancellor Martok could do to you if he found out you've been doing genetic experiments on Klingons?
After what we've finished with, when we get all this done, he'd give us a medal. That's what he'd do. Lieutenant Dowd, what was your question?
It's clear that you think you're doing something wonderful for your people, if indeed not yourself. Tell me, we found Federation equipment that was magnifying the sensor dampening and transporter negating effects of the diamagnetic ore. Was that your doing? Did you source that equipment from Trill or some other Federation source?
I didn't source it. I did. Well, look, I brought it with me and I made it. I'm an engineer by trade, so I brought it with me. We wanted to stay undercover so that we could get this done without anyone causing a disturbance. So
now you've just admitted to violating the Prime Directive.
I don't know what the Prime Directive is, but I tell you that what we were doing was for the good of everyone.
Do you get free delivery with the Prime Objective?
Give Federation technology to other races without authorization from Starfleet Command.
I didn't give it to anyone. We used it to keep people away. What were you saying?
You said that you believed that once your project was completed, the Klingons would give you a medal for it. What benefit would this have been to the Klingons? What do you believe it would have been to the Klingons?
I know Chancellor Martok wouldn't give you a medal for this.
Is that what you were told?
Well,
Martok will feed you. Have you read to his pet talk for this?
Imagine. It's quite clear this guy is now really, really trying to backpedal and justify this, by the way. Imagine what benefits there could be if we could expand the possibility of joining, not just Trills, but to everyone. Imagine that. Now you've got warriors whose breadth of experience could last for centuries.
Was that specifically what was being planned, or was that just a pipe dream at this point?
I think
all of it was a pipe dream. All of it's a dream. We were a long way from making this work. I honestly think we could have needed a couple more years, but it could have worked.
A couple more years is not that long.
Sorry, Tabby.
Sorry, I was just remarking a couple of years is not really that long. But Dowd, if you have a question, go ahead.
No, so you're saying this wasn't just to benefit Trill, that any species could be a joined species?
They've eventually, yes.
No, that's just plain God.
What's wrong with that?
How much do you know
good
about...
never come from plain God.
1 minute, Farad. What were you saying, Tabby?
How much do you know about the effect of the bluegill parasites on the minds of those infected?
At the moment, it has been a problem. They do tend to be the more dominant side in the blending. Let's put it that way. But with time,
they tend to be. Are you aware of any cases where they weren't completely dominant?
No.
Did you believe there would ever be a time when they would not be completely dominant?
Of course. That eventually we would have worked it out. There would have been a balance, as there is on Trill.
Who told you that?
The Romulans.
Which ones specifically?
The one that you shot.
When did he tell you this?
That's what one of the things we discussed when the initial experiments didn't work out.
What was his
I had
reaction
my-
to the experiments
I
not
had my
working out?
concerns, and we discussed it, and he made me see that well, there are always sacrifices when it comes to experimentation.
Did you know whether or not this particular Romulan had himself been joined in this way?
I never had reason to question that he had been. His personality never changed all the time that I knew him.
Yes, I see.
Oh.
Thank you.
They really
Were
did
you-
see you
Were
coming,
you in
didn't
charge
they?
of paying were you in charge of paying those merchants?
Oh, good grief, no. I was here mostly for the scientific aspect of things.
I can't really see them letting him handle the money.
Well, send them back to the brig. Turn them over to the authorities on
With a lot of
Starbase
fruit salad.
367.
I think you'll be lucky if you can get a job cleaning the symbiote waste tanks at this rate.
I have a feeling Lieutenant Dowd has got this guy's number.
And this guy's number is probably about 3.
It's 16309.
Security, return the prisoner to the brig and return him over to the authorities on Starbase 367.
Just make sure he's got plenty of fruit salad.
His I think you're wasting your fruit salad, but yeah, I think he's going to be prisoner 16309.
and we don't give him any and he gets prison rations, no Raxagino.
No, as he's been dragged away. No,
I'm afraid it's Bovril for you.
no.
There's bread and water that
Anything
hasn't
but
been
Bovril.
replicated.
Yeah, they pretty much got a willing dupe there, didn't they?
Heavens to Betsy. They saw him coming, as they say, but and they got what they
guys.
wanted from him. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, guys, I think that does end the scene unless you have any more people you want to question.
Found to engineering, beam all the linear chips back to the facility.
In a big pile. And thank you so much for your toiling on our behalf.
And Krista in the chat asks, can you interrogate the Klingon? Is that something we might want to think about?
Is the Klingon still... Oh, there was one that was dead, but there is one that's still alive, yeah.
Shall we have a word? Shall we take Krista's suggestion and have a brief word? What do Klingons
I think that's a
do?
great idea.
I'm not
Go
sure they're
for it.
sandwich people, are they?
So this is an unjoined Klingon.
Is it?
Well,
I'm not sure there's
the
a
joining
check, though.
hasn't really gone super well for them, so
Should we have the Klingon medically examined?
do you have any notes on this Klingon, Zoe?
Yes.
Oh, then yeah, we definitely need to have a chat with him. So can we as we did with the Trill, same procedure, have him looked over and then have him brought in? Now, we'll keep some tantalizing gach and blood wine just out of reach. Actually, maybe some Whiston gach. It's packed in Targ blood.
Okay. This Klingon, the medical team tell you, is joined with a neural parasite.
Ah, yes. Well, had we better put this fellow in quarantine? And is there any way that he's known of destroying the parasite without destroying the host?
I don't believe we've had done that so far. There certainly wasn't in the show, was there?
Beam him back to the facility and leave him there.
It did tend to kill the host if the parasite was removed after like an hour or so, wasn't it? Once it got itself embedded. I don't think you could take them out.
And doesn't that suggest that this is not in fact a Klingon, but a parasite in the body of a Klingon? If it completely dominates and you destroy the original if you take it out, then there is no original left, is there?
I don't know if that's true, or is it a matter of time? Because that means that all of those, like, all of those people that were infected during conspiracy, that they all are dead.
I think it's a matter of time. After a certain amount of time, it will get full control. That's what I'm remembering anyway.
Because I'm thinking of like that female captain.
Yeah.
And
It must be after a certain amount of time. Otherwise, yeah, that would be a hell of a death count.
It sure would. And nary a funeral.
So yeah, this guy definitely has the parasite in the back of his neck, and it's in deep.
It's in deep.
Well,
that gives us some leverage, because if we remove it, it's the death of both of them.
Yes, but it also gives him some leverage, because if you remove it, it's the death of both of them.
But he's it's kind of a Borg argument, isn't it? Like, is he already dead?
Yeah.
Has he been subsumed?
And this is why I love Star Trek. Nothing's ever black and white. There's always shades of grey.
The moral maze.
Yes, that's a program Radio 4, isn't it? But
I think you're thinking of Desert Island Disc.
Radio 4, but
I actually have to admit, I don't tend to listen to Radio 4 these days. I do like their plays. They did an excellent one of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, like 10 years ago. That was really good. Sorry, a bit of a tangent.
But is Radio 4 where they do Miranda Hart's Joke Shop?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard it.
I have to admit, I don't know.
I do quite like Miranda Hart.
But anyway, Parasite would like Desert Island Discs. I don't know. I mean, can we interrogate the parasite?
I think that's what we'd be doing, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Klingon's not in at the moment. It's
just a pair of legs and arms.
Shall we keep the infected Klingon behind a force field? Let's not bother with the food for this particular
Level 10 force field.
And let's see if we can talk to the parasite through the Klingon to see what kind of responses we get. I'm not sure whether this is going to be like talking to ChatGPT, but we'll have a go.
May I make a motion that we ask questions in turn, like one into like that, like, you know, Tabby goes, then Farron goes, then I go, and ainsi de suite, as we say in French.
I can tell you right now, it won't matter. The parasite will not talk to you.
Oh, pleading the fifth. Nice one, Mr. Trump.
It's actually written in the adventure, the parasite will not talk to you.
Even under threat of death, threat of being removed, threat of the Klingon being immobilized.
But if we
can't get information from this,
I'd have you beamed straight into space.
I'll actually read what it says in the text. This is something I wouldn't normally do, but it will explain it. The neural parasite's belief in their superiority prevents them from being intimidated or negotiated with. Nothing can shake them to reveal information that would jeopardize their plans or the survival of their species.
Well, I think we'd probably better move.
Fail to transport a Wing 3, beam the Klingon and a nuclear weapon back to the facility.
Oh, no,
I'm not sure if they're allowed the nuclear weapon.
New twist on an old favorite.
There's theme emerging here. How about, I think in the circumstances, given that this Klingon is effectively already dead, and there is no possible hope for anything else, and this parasite poses a risk, we had better, hadn't we, just take him to the medical area and have the parasite removed, notwithstanding that it might cause the Klingon's death.
Before that, a couple of questions. They can't be coerced. They can't be threatened. Can they be outsmarted? Can they be tricked?
It's an interesting question. the way I read it is they can't be bargained with, they can't be reasoned with, they don't know fear or pity or remorse, and they absolutely will not stop.
Well, because I'm curious if we would if we were to have sit them down, have the chat or not have the chat, and then really we're not getting anything from this one. Proceed to the Iconian Gate as previously discussed. Then leave and see how he reacts, if he reacts. And I know I'm not sure, but I remember they were able to send signals through space. I'm not sure if they were doing that biologically or through technological means, but it'd be interesting to sort of but it doesn't sound like there's anything for that. But the second thing I would ask is, can they be read by betazoids? Or are they impervious to Jedi mind tricks?
There's nothing in the manual about that.
Because I don't even know if Troy was even in that episode. She's not even a full telepath anyway. But
that's it. Yeah, she gets emotions.
She could just say, "I sense something strange," and then that's kind of, and then they send her back to a cupboard. But yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure if.
For the purposes of this, I'm going to say they probably can't. Otherwise,
no such thing as bad data, because if I can't, if my character can't read somebody, then that's kind of a quick little tricorder of whether or not they're infestated or not.
It is. It's very interesting. You don't seem to be getting anything off him. Let's put it that way. Except, yes, if you do the proceed to the Iconian Gateway, there is a mental signal that goes out.
Can it be traced by technological means?
Or probably trace it, but
or do I become the GPS?
But seconds after the signal is sent, red alert is announced. Red alert! Red alert! All crew to the battle stations.
Oh, crikey! What have I done?
Senior staff to the bridge.
Which of us count to what?
All of you.
Our battle stations?
You're all senior staff. You're bridge crew.
Oh, we better go to the bridge then, hadn't we?
Okay.
As long as the chap's still behind his force field.
So when I said, "Oh dear, what have I done?" What and that end credits. What have I done? Credits.
that is kind of how I was aiming. However, I need
to be continued. Oh heavens to Betsy!
I need to knock that down because we have changed the scene, and I have used up 2 threats to do it. Okay.
So is this next time on Star Trek Enigma?
Here is the new game board. This is space now, space combat, and the reason that we have a red alert is because after you said what you said and a signal was sent, a Romulan starship decloaked from behind the asteroid.
Oh, bugger tits. Oh, sorry, that was rude. Oh, heavens to Betsy.
Torpedo bay, ready phasers.
That is essentially what's going to be happening. Yes, a Romulan starship has now decloaked.
That's been fun. That was fun. A lot
this is the moment that Farron's been waiting for. But anyway,
held the warbirds.
Yeah, I don't know if I have to even show up next time. I think Farringale will be in his glory.
Well, you're gonna. Let's put it this way: you're all going to need to take part because space combat is actually quite complex in Star Trek Adventures. Just to move the ship, you're going to need someone at the helm and things like that. So that's why I've got you all set out in this position.
Well,
I have a feeling I'm going to be quite rubbish at this.
Oh, I don't know. So there you are. Guys, I think that's a good place to stop for the night. I've really enjoyed tonight. It's been a lot of role playing. I've really enjoyed it. What about you guys?
Oh, it was quite nice. My favourite part, I think, was getting the sandwich.
The tea lady came in with the cart.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying this. It's been fun.
Anyone fancy any Claire?
Excellent.
I would just say we need to refine our turn-taking skills. I think when it comes to certain scenes,
Yeah,
that would be my only.
I mean, the questioning is a bit complex because actually sometimes you need to ask a whole lot of follow-up questions in order to get the point of what you're trying to get in the first place.
yeah.
So it might be
And-
you have blocks of questions rather than one by one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that could work. We can definitely work on that. But I think as a team, we're getting into definite distinct roles, which is always a good thing.
So
Fair
how
enough.
would you
Going
label
things up
those
to expert.
roles, Zoe, if pressed?
Okay, so Lieutenant Dowd is kind of the heart of the team, with some of the emotional support and also the reasoning, trying to keep everyone level. Farron, I would see as the action person who is right. We have to take decisive action here and now. This is what we should do. And I think in a crisis situation, he's your guy. And Tabby is the wild card, the one that you can't always tell what he's going to do, but you know he's going to do what's needed at the right point. And I think you've got a very interesting dynamic going on. I like it.
And leading from the front, Zoe.
Leading from the rear because I'm kind of pushing the stuff in the right directions.
Or dragging us there when we don't do it ourselves. Action
Well,
man.
sometimes you have to do the nudge.
Well,
But
but
I've really
basically
enjoyed-
you've described 4 points of a compass, haven't you, really?
So essentially, yeah. But I've enjoyed this. This has been a lot of fun. I hope that you guys are enjoying it too.
Yeah,
Well, as much
I'm
as
glad
everything
Tabby
else,
was
I
able to make it as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
missed
sorry I
you
was a bit
last
late. I
time.
thought it was 10, but my apologies. I was just having some supper.
Yeah.
No,
Don't worry about
but
it.
you won't want to forget because the last time we took you out for a spin without you in the driver's seat, we nearly got you killed
You did
Yeah,
accidentally get shot. Yes.
several times and needed to be whisked away for patching up.
But it's okay.
I'm glad they have good vets on the starship.
But it's
I think
okay.
they
You're
were
still
able
here.
to-
That's what counts.
Yeah,
Any
yeah,
you can
yeah.
walk away from.
Yes, any battle you can live
Guys,
to fight another day.
thank you so much for coming along tonight. And to everyone who's been watching in the chat, everyone who's commented, and everyone who's just sat back and enjoyed the show, which is, of course, a perfectly valid way of doing things as well. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Take care, have a great evening, and live long and prosper.
Cheerio. Enjoy cake.